Hello, and welcome back to another video. So, I know the title says game pickups and a big announcement. So, big announcement first. I am doing, as part of my year on YouTube anniversary, I am doing Sega Saturn month. So, all of May, from the 7th of May onwards, considering, you know, today is the 30th of April. Lovely. From May, and every week in that, I will be doing a video on Sega Saturn games. So next week, I'm going to be talking about my imports. So all the import games I've received for the Sega Saturn, which will be very exciting. And then the following week, I'll probably talk a bit about Panzer Dragoon. And then we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll talk about fighting games. Maybe I'll talk about, you know, Sonic on the Sega Saturn. Oh boy. I will at some point be also doing a Sega Saturn pickup video, so a bunch of games I've just picked up recently. But today, that may be first week of June, we'll see. But today, my friends, we're just going to be looking at kind of all the miscellaneous stuff I've picked up recently. So I got rid of all my Evercade games, every single one. Yeah, largely because it wiped half of them. the verses, after I'd updated it, wiped half of the games. Half. Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. I traded all of them in. They are nowhere to be seen. And that's okay, because I sold them all to CEX. Oh dear, heaven forbid. Poor CEX having faulty hardware. Shocking. No, the hardware's fine. Software, not so much. So, what did I pick up with the 300 quid? None of that has arrived. So, a bulk of it was Sega Saturn games. There were a couple of Dreamcast games, one I wanted for quite some time, and 2 Sega CD games that I happen to already have. So, I'll be sending those back and I'll be buying new ones. Just because, otherwise, silly man. Anyway. What have I picked up recently that isn't for the Sega Saturn? Well, a lot of Sega junk, quite a lot of PlayStation, a couple of Atari bits, and one thing for the SNES. We'll start for the SNES. Mortal Kombat 2. I picked up Mortal Kombat 3 on the Dreamcast a couple of months ago, and I've never really been into Mortal Kombat as a series, so I thought, get into it as a series. Get into Mortal Kombat as a series. I'm always looking for Acclaim games anyway. Can't believe I left the stick on this CX. Yeah. And, you know, I've heard good things about Mortal Kombat 2. I've also heard good things about Mortal Kombat 3, which is good because I have it on Saturn. Yeah, quite looking forward to playing this. Might try it on the Polymega. It's been a while since I played the Polymega, to be fair. Really wouldn't mind that thing having Dreamcast support, especially seeing as I've bought so many Dreamcast games as well recently, including 2 that I have here today. Confidential mission. I know very little about this, other than I sold my Dreamcast gun for it, because I don't have a light gun. So I don't have a light gun to play it, but that's okay. I don't think you need one to play this. I have ordered 2 more Dreamcast SCART leads because mine broke. So, my poor Dreamcast has been sat on the shelf with its power lead in for some reason. Has been sat on the shelf going, play all the new games you got. Unfortunately, I can't until that arrives at some point. Maybe tomorrow, day after, whenever. Doesn't matter. Another major game. So, my friend for, I think it was Christmas, got me Shenmue 2. So I picked up Shenmue 1. Now, I've not been the hugest fan of Shenmue. Just haven't. It's not really been a series I've been super into. But they're 2 of the largest Dreamcast games that you can kind of get. And I want to get into them. I know they're QuickTime central. Every freaking action you do in that game is basically a QuickTime event or staring at an orange. But, yeah. Picked this up from CEX. 30 quid. Not too bad. not too bad, along with Confidential Mission. I have, I think, Daytona 2000, 2001, one of the two, coming in the post, as well as there were 2 other Dreamcast games, and you know what, I've completely forgotten where they are, so that's helpful. But yeah, that Daytona one, 70 quid. I did genuinely debate on picking up Sonic Shuffle, but 140 quid for Sonic Shuffle, which is a very bad Mario Party clone. Thank you. Final Sega game, though. I did pick this up yesterday. Golden Axe 2. I've never really super duper been into Golden Axe. But again, kind of like Mortal Kombat 2, I want to be. So they didn't have Golden Axe 1, unfortunately, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I have the first one. I'll have to check. Maybe I'll do a Mega Drive video collection video. That would be nice. But yeah, no manual, because, you know, we play CEX Roulette and we lose, because screw that company. But this looks pretty good. I've heard good things. I have I think it's called the Sega Archives. Sega Archives by the guys who did, or do rather, Retro Gamer. That ye olde magazine. It's not ye olde, but you know, that magazine. And I picked that up largely because I'm a Sega boy. You know, if I'd grown up through the 80s and my teenage years were in the 90s, I think I'd have been hardcore Sega. Even with the Dreamcast, actually. Especially the Saturn. My Saturn collection is ever growing. And sometimes shrinking depending on how many games I bought for it recently. Very similarly to my GameCube collection. So, for GameCube, I picked up a game I have picked up at least 5 times before and always sold. Beautiful Joe. I don't know why I keep getting rid of Beautiful Joe. I just don't know. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to buy it and never trade it in again. It's one of those games. It's one of those games where it's like, I could play this, or I could not. I just decided with some trading money I'd get it. That way I can say, oh yes, all done, all sorted, all wonderful. Game I have rather, you know what, really been enjoying. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. It's a Donkey Kong bongos. So there was the bongo, you had a bongos peripheral for the GameCube. And, you know, you beat on it to play Donkey Konga 2. There was going to be an add-on mode for a game called Odama, which I won't get into Odama because it's weird. But that never manifested itself. Same with the Donkey Kong Bongos racing game that was supposed to be Jungle Racing, Bongo Beat, whatever. But yeah, this is an action game with it. I haven't been playing it with the bongos strictly because I can't be bothered to get them out. But I've been playing this on with a controller. It's really good. It's like crazy good. I hate how good it is. In a way, it's ridiculous, but fun. Not quite what I was expecting, to be honest with you, when I particularly picked that up. I have picked up a couple of other Nintendo things, but these were more from my Nintendo. So my Nintendo is a lot like Club Nintendo. Basically, you get points, and then you can spend those points on wallpapers or various in-game items I don't use it for. Or you can get physical rewards. So, for example, I picked up Splatoon 3... There we go. Splatoon 3 stickers for the side... I think it's called Side Order. That's the DLC. I picked up these stickers as well. These came free, actually. These were included for free, which, not complaining. But the major thing was... And I don't know why I got this. So it's for the game Princess Peach Showtime. It's a document folder, or it's 3 document folders, including her as a mermaid, which is lovely. Isn't that nice? I haven't actually got round to picking up Princess Peach Showtime yet. I really, really need to. But these, you know, it's like £2 for postage for free stuff. So, of course, I'm going to do that. That's ridiculous. Of course, I will. You know. I'll talk about the 2 PS1 games I picked up recently. Ape Escape. I don't know too much about this. I know that the apes, in particular, have been around a lot longer than... What the heck is that guy's name? You know what? Not even the back of the case will tell you who that main character is. But Ape Escape's been around for quite a while. It's a franchise that Sony very rarely dips into. Very rarely. But yeah, I got this from a local game shop. Not CX for a change, because screw them. But yeah, this is very cool. Looking forward to playing that, maybe on the Polymega. Good old Polymega, when I get around to using it. And I picked up probably the worst game of 2001, according to a lot of people, even though I don't think it might be. Simpsons Wrestling. Yeah. Mostly so I could play as Ned Flanders and spam God's lightning from the sky with righteous anger. Or high diddly hose. Righteous high diddly hose. Because why not? Because why not indeed. Right, what else? Oh, okay. Tell you what. We're still on the PS1 train, or the PlayStation train. I've got few PS4 games. So, I've been kind of looking at Nomad Colossus's channel for Shadow of the Colossus. I've seen this on and off over the years. I've got the PlayStation 2 version. I've never really sunk any time into it, because I had a sneaking suspicion it had one of those control schemes I would hate. And when I tried playing the PS2 version, I did. I did really hate the controls in that. It was just awful. This, though, updated visuals, updated controls, just very, very pretty. I've beaten the first three Colossi, which took me an hour, quite frankly. And since then, I've just been kind of riding around. I know I have to go fight Phalendra, I think is the fourth one. And then it's Avion and then Bardus. And that will take me up to 10 Colossi left to fight. So, yeah, I've done 3 out of 16 so far. I like it. It's very, very good for the first 3. I was thinking suspicion it's going to get more irritating as I play it, but I think this is one of those games where I need to practice. It's not like a Souls game where I just get constantly irritated. I think Shadow of the Colossus, it's more down to, yeah. And I think the fact it has easy mode is certainly beneficial if I don't feel particularly like playing all the way, or playing on hard or medium or whatever. Shadow of the Colossus is very solid. I'm hoping it'll live up to kind of all the hype. I'm not a person who typically buys into hype. I don't like hype because it creates expectations for games that everybody's ranting and raving about how amazing it is, and as a result I feel less inclined to play it. It's kind of like Breath of the Wild. I bought Breath of the Wild when it was new. I don't like it. I don't like that game. But yeah, Shadow of the Colossus is a similar one. That, though, very good. Similarly, Journey. I picked up Journey again. Journey used to be my 5th favourite game of all time. And I know, very specific, but yeah, just a very, very, very solid game. I had it on PlayStation 3. Played it a lot. Played it a lot about 10 years ago. Played it again, beat it, like, the same day I got it, because the game's an hour. And then, obviously, you've got Flow and you've got Flower thrown into the Collector's Edition as well. And you know what? I still like this game. I still love Journey. I don't know if I like it enough to go, oh, yes, this favourite game of all time. No, that's Triangle Strategy nowadays. But, yeah, speaking of games I've picked up in the past, I seem to have somehow lost my original copy of of South Park, The Fractured Butthole. There, read it. Fractured Butthole. The Fractured Butthole. I liked this game. I'm not a huge watcher of South Park. I like it in doses. I think I watched it really solidly maybe 10 years ago now. That's when I kind of really got into it. Started with Stick of Truth, which was kind of a sort of JRPG, turn-based RPG inspired game. And then you had this one, which was more similar, I guess, to Live Alive. You can move your character. It's not just static. But you know what? I thought this game was really good. I thought this game was really good the first time I got it. For the life of me, I have either lost or I sold my original copy of this, and I could not tell you why, because they're great. And for some reason, the sticker is still on it. Dreadful. I'm losing my touch. But yeah, really solid game. Highly recommend. Okay, final PS4 game. One Piece. One Piece. Pirate Warriors 4. I fucking love One Piece. Like, there's very, 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 very few anime or manga that I'm actually heavily invested in. One Punch Man to a lesser extent. My Hero Academia. One Piece above everything. I'm talking reading the spoilers of the spoilers of the spoilers. That's how badly it's gotten. But I'd never actually played Pirate Warriors 4, and this is I think this is the most recent one. Also with a bloody sticker on the front of it. Nice. Yeah, but this is the most recent one. I think they released a DLC where you could play as, I think it was Kaido? You play as Kaido again, except it's his... Anyway, One Piece. Longest running manga on Earth, I think. Longest consistently running manga, certainly. As very nearly outsold Superman comics. And they had a full, near century ahead of the curve. They had like an additional 50-something years to kind of sell. But One Piece has nearly beaten it, which is absolutely insane. This game's pretty good, quite frankly. I've only played it for about an hour. Yeah, I've only played it for about an hour, but it's a very solid title. I'm not huge on Warriors games. I've mostly played the Nintendo ones. So Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Fire Emblem Warriors, and Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Which, you know, all four really good. Debating where Hyrule Warriors sits on my top 50 games at the moment. It was number 10, but I think it's going down a little bit. I think there are other games I like more nowadays. It's more so I play the Wii U version, because that's the one I've sunk maybe a decade of time into. Oh, that came out 10 years ago. Long time ago. Game that didn't come out 10 years ago, Alex Kidd. That came out way before. way before. Miracle World DX. I think I have... Yeah, I've got High Tech World for the Master System, and I know that Miracle World, I think, was Mega Drive. So, Alex Kidd, if you don't know who he is he was the former mascot of Sega before Mr. the Hedgehog. So, before Sonic, before, I don't know, Yakuza, before any of that, you had Alex Kidd. And this has been out for a while, this remake. Made by a fan. I think he was picked up by, I don't know, one of these game companies. I think Merge. I don't know who Merge are, but I think they picked him up. Went, right, we can get you the rights, because Sega aren't particularly fuffed about it, because Sega still own the rights to this. I don't know why their name isn't on here at all. It's very, very weird. Oh no, it's there. Yeah, rights. You know, Alex Kidd, trademark of Sega. But yeah, picked this up because it was 10 quid. And I like Alex Kidd to a degree. I think I've only played the Master System version. Yeah, I have. I might have played the Mega Drive one of the millions of ports of Mega Drive games that we get. And none for 32X. Thanks, Sega. Yeah. Did pick up this game. The Invincible. So The Invincible is based off of a novel of some description by... You know, it doesn't actually say, which is... Oh, by Stanislaw Lem. Stanislaw Lem. Yeah, it's a pseudo-walking simulator set on an alien planet. Big robots walking around everywhere. Very atom punk in a lot of ways, especially from that robot. Kind of like the Fallout series, if you haven't seen that, which I haven't, but, you know, atom punk. Is that atom punk? Nuclear punk, certainly. But, yeah. Been staring at that game for a while. It looked interesting, quite frankly. It looked very interesting. Certainly a game I've had on my playlist, but certainly not a game that I'm like, oh, I have to rush out and play that. Like, say, I don't know, Forgotten City or Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade I'm being an R-ing about. But yeah, down to our final 2 items after this very long video. And then I will probably do a bonus video at some point during May for the Sega Saturn stuff that I'm picking up. Maybe some of the extra bits of Sega juice junk that I've picked up as well. But for now, Atari. Yeah, I picked up the Atari 2600, which is this boy. So this is I guess an emulator box. It's basically an emulator box. You plug old or new Atari 2600 cartridges into it, and it plays them in HD, which is nice. Way too light to be an old Atari. Those things could sink a ship if you put too many of them on it. But this, yeah, it's pretty solid actually. I played it a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of the original Atari joystick, to be perfectly honest with you. I find it annoying. But I think, as far as I'm aware, the 7800 controller should work. If not, they've re-released the 7800 controller. Been meaning to pick it up. But yeah, this was in CEX as well. Works fine, which is shocking for an Atari, for a fucking CEX piece of hardware. I'm amazed it turned on, considering they don't test half of the junk that comes through their freaking shops. I've had to return like 5-6 games this year alone, and I've had to return at least one. I've had to return about 6 consoles over the last 4 years, so I don't buy hardware off them anymore typically. But that was too good to lose. And it came with this. Well, I had to buy this separately, but they had it, which is very nice. So this is a 10 games in 1 cartridge for focus, you bastard. For the 7600. One of probably Atari's first new cartridge in about 10 years. No, 30 years. About 30 years, which is disgusting. Unfortunately, I've got most of the games on here. I've got Adventure, Combat. Haven't got Dodgem. I don't think I have Haunted House. Ooh, I don't have Haunted House. I'll pick that up. Maze Craze, haven't got. Missile Command, got that. Real Sports Volleyball, no. Surround, no. Video Pinball, no. Yarl's Revenge, yes, do have Yarl's Revenge. Yeah, they're doing that Yarl's Rising game, Atari, which looks interesting. It's not exactly what I would have wanted from a game inspired by Yarl's Revenge, which is about sentient flies and their spaceships. I know. Weird 70s storyline. 80s, maybe. Very early 80s. But, yeah, that's it. That's it for another week. So, next week, we will be looking at all of my import games for the Sega Saturn, for the start of Sega Saturn month, which is very exciting. We will also be probably looking at Panzer Dragoon, and I'm not entirely sure what else we will see. We will see what other games I can pull from yonder shelf and talk about. If you've got any ideas, please let me know in the comments. That would be wonderful. And I will see you guys next week for the start of Sega Saturn month.